Hi guys, I'm Shmi, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me today at Mansory in Germany to take a look at the new Mansory Bentayga Wide Body. Now this is their ultimate full conversion for the luxury SUV, and today we're going to find out all about it on a day of some moderately bizarre weather. At the moment we have a quick break in the rain. In fact, we've got a very blue sky, but 5 minutes ago it was raining. I'm sure it's coming back very soon, but we're going to run through this based on the new and updated facelifted version of the Bentley Bentayga, the model year 2021, with the wide body with all of the carbon fibre as part of Mansory's Bodykit, a fully retrimmed interior, a new exhaust that sounds fantastic, and a V8 that now makes 750 horsepower that I'm going to experience shortly out on the road. So today, let's find out then all about the Mansory Bentayga Wide Body. This is quite a conservative specification for Mansory. The black paintwork with the exposed carbon contrasting against it, and a very nice black and red interior you'll see in a moment, but it is a very odd day in terms of the weather. Quite pleasant up here at the moment, but believe me, a couple of minutes ago we had some very dark grey clouds. Now this car has the full wide body, all of the exposed carbon, and a retrimmed interior based on the updated Bentayga. Now this is the first time on the channel we've had a look at the facelift Bentayga itself. I think the chicken there is wanting to be as noisy as possible right now, but it features a number of updates: new tail lights, new headlights, some changes under the skin, and some of the engine variants got a little bit more power as well. But it follows the immense success that Bentley have had with the Bentayga. Their first SUV that launched about 5 years ago has now sold over 20,000 units, and of course a big success as well for Mansory in terms of their parts packages and full conversions for it along the way. Now this car has the wide body package. You can see it is significantly wider than the standard car, but also features a whole host of carbon fibre. Let's have a look around here. Starting with the full exposed carbon on the bonnet, a little contrast against the black paint. Of course it would stand out significantly more on a brightly coloured car, but it features a number of logos, also has a different shape to it here with the openings for the cooling of the V8 up front. We've got a new carbon fibre grille with the vertical slats housing the 360 camera, or the front camera I should say, here as well, and the Mansory logo here, which actually illuminates along with the headlights, which we'll see a little bit later on. Down below we've got a new front apron, the lower carbon fibre splitter. We've got the surrounds of the vents, we've got the flicks around the side. This particular car has 23-inch wheels. It's also available with 24-inch wheels should the customer prefer as well. More carbon around the side strakes, the mirror caps, the aero pieces, the side skirts, and then we come towards the back where we've got a larger carbon fibre spoiler. We've got the bootlid spoiler here as well. Then down below a very aggressive diffuser, and also these seriously angry tailpipes, which believe me are going to sound very good when we get to hear those in a moment. To come and show you the interior of this, inside here we've got the dual tone of the black and red leather, finished in Mansory's traditional style with some very bespoke carbon fibre. They are the masters of creating all sorts of different weaves. In fact, that carries through across the whole of the dashboard. There's a nice Mansory logo on the passenger side, the top here of the steering wheel, which is also shaped and moulded, and then all of the interior leather, which has been reworked with the diamond quilting, the contrast stitching, the embroideries, seats, headrests, armrests, you name it. And that also continues through in the rear of the car as well to match the same style as up in the front, including all of the carbon fibre inlays. Now to touch on the engine, let's open this up very quickly. Glorious at the moment in the sunshine, but inside here we've got the 4-litre twin turbo V8 that would normally be making 550 horsepower and 770 newton meters. This makes 750 horsepower and 1020 newton meters, up 200 horsepower and up 250 newton meters, which is thanks to new turbochargers, ECU management, full new exhaust system, and a host of other upgrades as well. But it means this boasts some immense performance. It will do the 0 to 62 miles per hour or 100 kilometer per hour sprint in just 3.7 seconds, down from 4.5, and it will go to a top speed of 197 miles per hour, 317 kilometers an hour, up from the standard of 180 miles an hour, 290 kilometers. So significant power. Underneath the bonnet here you can see the exposed carbon fibre looking very nice, significantly lighter than the standard bonnet. I can tell you that is a very light piece. We'll click it back into place just here and come round to get this started up. So take a seat on board, more of that carbon fibre continuing throughout the entirety of the interior. Press of the button just down here. We will pop it into sport mode and then let's start it. There we go, you can hear some of that burble. Obviously we'll get the valves open properly when we're out and driving. That was like 1,500 RPM. This is going to sound a little bit crazy, so let's go out for a drive then, here today with the Mansory Bentayga, and see what it's like. Exactly as expected, it has started raining, but let's go and try and find somewhere dry. We've got the automatic gearbox into drive. We are currently in Bentley mode. You have comfort mode, Bentley mode, sport mode, and a custom mode to set up your driving dynamic parameters. But in Bentley, it adapts everything on the fly to what it thinks that you'd like to have from it. Now, I've driven Bentaygas a number of times, from the original W12 back when it launched, to a few other occasions, and even recently actually, one of these, the facelift car, albeit not the full Mansory conversion. So at the moment we will take it nice and easily to get things started, and you feel, as in any Bentley or Bentayga, it's just a comfortable, effortless place to be. It just oozes and wafts away with the power, with the torque, and I'm looking forward to seeing quite how much it has when we can put the foot down. It's loaded with technology, everything from your adaptive cruise controls to your high-end sound system, massaging seats, heads-up display, all of the safety systems, automatic braking, blind spot monitoring, you name it, this car probably does it. If we go into custom, things get a little bit softer. The valves on the exhaust are even quieter. There is more of a sound than the standard car already, and we've barely obviously put the foot down up to this point, but everything just eases up even more. And we've got the 48-volt air chamber suspension system, which effectively gives you the smoothest of smooth riding experiences. To open things up a little bit though, let's go into sport, where the exhaust valves will come more into life. We're still in automatic at the moment. Listen to that. The racket, the raucous roar that you get out of the back of this thing. And then you're just, again, effortlessly wafting along. You can pop it into, well, we're in sport on the gearbox, but you can also pop it into manual and just start downshifting a little bit manually instead. Go down to second gear. Oh, what a sound. Right, let's go back into auto, pop it back into Bentley mode. I seem to be doing the exact opposite of what I want to do at the moment, finding the heaviest rain possible, but it seems to be the way today. It's literally from rain to sun and back to rain out of absolutely nowhere. But this is a car, right, that you can just go around with such ease, with style, and with even more exclusivity and also enjoyment, emotion as well, thanks to all of the Mansory modifications, the changes of it. Inside, you instantly have this sportier feel from the steering wheel itself, as opposed to the normal, more neutral steering wheel that the Bentayga would carry when it doesn't quite have all of these shaped hand grips, which just puts you in something, or instantly I would say, in a more excited frame of mind when you get behind the wheel of this thing. Obviously it's very quiet, lots of sound deadening, everything you touch is the finest of materials, whether that's the air conditioning vent controls or the Mansory leathers or carbon or whatever it might be. It just feels like a really, really nice place when you're sat inside this. You've got a good seating position, very comfortable seats, you can adjust them in every possible direction you might want, and as I said, you've got the massaging programs as well to change exactly how that is. So you've got a car that can do 0 to 62 miles an hour in 3.7 seconds with your massage seats on, with your pet in the back, a full family of 5 in the car or whatever it might be, and just enjoy things along the way. Coming back out of town though, I'm going to leave it in sport automatic on the gearbox, pop it back into sport mode though. Just wait a moment for the gearbox to drop down a gear. It holds on quite a long time as well in sport, but on some nice twisty roads, even though they're not dry. I mean, of course we've got four-wheel drive in the SUV, obviously. It just sounds cool. I mean, it's not necessarily me in a car, because I tend to lean more towards a sporty driving experience as opposed to this comfortable luxury side of things, but the Bentayga is a car that you could drive for hours and hours on end and be totally, totally chill throughout, and probably get out at the other end and just, you know, be comfortable, be ready to go, be ready to do whatever it might be wherever that you're going. But driving like this, when you squeeze the throttle pedal and you hear that noise out of the back of it. In fact, if you are in Bentley mode or even in comfort, you can tell that it's significantly quieter there. Back on the power, the valve opens, you can hear when the valve opened. It's at a higher threshold depending which driving mode you're in with the exhaust, and of course you can have a number of different options. The roads here are looking very, very busy at the moment, and very, very wet, unfortunately, as well, which has all gone completely not to plan. This is a fairly new car, so I can't go full Mach 10 at the moment to experience the 750 horsepower. But considering the weight of this thing, it's about 2.4 tons for a Bentayga. That's a lot of weight to move as quickly as this can do it, and I can believe that it can do it because I know what the standard car is like. When you're driving along, for example, at highway speed on the motorways, you just lift off and the car carries its weight and its momentum and it just rolls on through, and there's no, like, it's just effortless is the word. Effortless is the only real way to describe what this thing is like. I love the extra sound, and I do quite like the steering wheel. At first I thought it was a little bit funky, but I've got used to it already and really appreciate, you know, the grip and the shape of it all, as well as the carbon fibre, which Mansory just do so incredibly well. The fit and finish and quality of the exterior components and the interior components is always, while it might be crazy and it might be for many people completely over the top, is always done to a very, very high standard, and the resulting feel is really, really top notch. Let's see though if we can find somewhere that's slightly less like this, but it's becoming, I think, increasingly less likely as we turn up the sensitivity of the automatic wipers. Yeah, this day is going slightly pear-shaped when it comes to the weather, unfortunately. It is rather wet, but let's go down into second gear for a moment. Foot down. Wow. This absolutely gets a move on. I mean, it should, right? All of the numbers on paper point to it being a very, very speedy thing, despite what you might think. It wasn't that long ago that a car like this would never have the ability to have that kind of level of performance. Oh, we do have some blue skies ahead of us now. Maybe if we keep going in this direction, we'll end up in the right kind of place. But no, this absolutely gets a move on. It's a crazy thing, and it's so much more, I think I said earlier, conservative when it's presented like this. You know, a black car with black and an accent colour on the interior, as opposed to some of the very bright and leery colours that we often see on Mansory's launch or show cars, which is obviously a lot about showing the option, showing what can be done, and in some cases cars that are ordered bespoke for a customer in those configurations. But like this, I think it works really quite nicely overall. The carbon doesn't stand out too much. It looks aggressive, it looks a little bit different to your standard Bentayga, and for that, you know, it can only be a good thing at the end of the day. Everybody likes different things, and this just adds a touch more exclusivity if you're somewhere like, let's say, Dubai, where Bentaygas are just about everywhere and you see an awful lot of them. This is just that little bit different. Anyway, I think I'm going to actually head back to base and I'll show you a few more things around the interior of this. Pulled back into where we began, and very quickly, yeah, more of this. It's absolutely awful today. Just my luck for coming to test drive a car, but in here with the update, the facelift Bentayga has a bigger screen, more infotainment, more controls, more things that you can do through that. You've got the climate controls that sit underneath. In the center, you've got your shifter, a couple of controls for various bits and pieces, your selector to go, well, start, stop button in the center, and then to go through the different driving modes. If you go to custom, for example, at the far right, you can set that up through the infotainment to be exactly as you would like, or Bentley is your default setting. Your hill descent control, storage pouch here in the armrest, a bit more space as well back there, 12-volt socket, some USB ports as well, some USB-C ports, and then at the steering wheel it continues the controls. On the left side you can change, for example, the view, bring up some different information, cycle through the different screens as well. Right side is more of your infotainment and your heated steering wheel button as well. Down on this side you've got your blind spot monitoring, you've got night vision. If you press this, initializing night vision, and in a second that will come up, and yes, quite literally you've got a night vision view. That's not so useful right now, but at night gives you a sense of what's up ahead of you. A couple of other controls down here, your lights, obviously your windows, your mirror controls, door handle, lock, unlock, but everything is very, very nice. As I said, your name, sound system, your seat controls down here as well. Yeah, I'm just going to close the door because with soft close, because it's pretty grim at the moment, and we will wait until this eases off before I'm going to take a step outside the car to go and show you a little more. It is starting to ease slightly, so with the car back in sport mode, take a quick listen to this. Sounds pretty ridiculous, doesn't it? Right, let's hop out. And just like this, about 5 minutes later, the sun is back out. This weather is completely and totally bizarre, but this has been the Mansory Bentayga Wide Body. There's the P750 performance badge there at the rear as well, even a carbon fibre badge. Didn't talk about that earlier, but 750 horsepower in a new facelifted Bentley Bentayga. The most significant change with the update was certainly to the taillights. Those used to be at the edges with the B shape kind of wrapping around, and now they're the more traditional, more rounded Bentley taillights that you have. I would probably go for this, to be honest, in a brighter colour to get the contrast of all of this visual carbon fibre that you have around, and to give some of the lines as well on the wide body. But today has been a great experience to see and to hear and to be, I guess, into all of the details about the Mansory Bentayga. Just a shame the weather didn't really know what it was doing. Anyway, for today, thank you very much for watching. As always, guys, thank you to Mansory for the opportunity to take the Bentayga Wide Body out for a drive. I hope you've enjoyed the video, but that is it for this time, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers!